They went from rags to riches in like 40 years, and it all started with Richard Nixon going over there and saying, hey, we're going to open it up. And that's when you started to see the American cities that weren't finished get finished over there. All their cities are so high tech, and then you go to our cities and you're like, wow.
Right.
So that's the big problem, and that's why we created them.
Right.
We turned them into the quote unquote world's factory because they're the main their economy became an export economy.
Yeah.
We were just making shit for everybody. And now they've accelerated that and they're going with influence. And here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think their whole motivation is revenge.
Yeah.
I think it's revenge.
I agree.
They want Taiwan back, but it's all revenge for the humiliation. And so they're just they're doing like that all means necessary kind of Malcolm X kind of economy that the Germans did in a lot of ways. Because the Nazis, it was like, what were they? Were they socialists? Were they capitalists? They were like by any means necessary.
Do you know like how the youth here they don't know our history of
Wait, who's the youth? Are you talking about the youth?
Yeah, the youth.
Oh, the youth.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
If I was like, hey, who's Franklin Roosevelt? They were like, is that like the mall in Long Island?
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't know. Like their youth, Chinese youth, they know their history and they have a lot of pride because the Chinese believe they prioritize education and they prioritize national pride. So you do not ever forget it. We're here. We don't prioritize that at all. We prioritize everyone can use any bathroom they want.
That's the problem.
It's what it is.
That's what's causing the problem.
But leader, Deng, he said this was a big thing. He said, by the time Deng held power, tens of thousands of young people each year were escaping to Hong Kong. When told of the problem during a visit to Guangdong in 1977, Deng explained that the solution lay not in tightening border security with more fencing and more border patrols, but improving the economy of Guangdong so young people would not feel that they had to flee to Hong Kong to find jobs. So that went radically against every other leader there. He said, why don't we stop trying to fence him in, and why don't we just say, it's great here, why do you even want to leave?
Yeah, and much like the noodle, and much like gunpowder, and much like papyrus, which became paper, we take what the Chinese did and we made it better. They built the Great Wall of China, and now we're going to improve upon that and build the Great Wall on the border.
That's what it is.
With drones and all those types of things. It's going to be a nice, beautiful wall.
It's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. I'm just saying we're going to improve it.
Beautiful wall.
You're not going to be able to get around it.
Yeah. And you know what it is, too, with the Chinese is they just were able... They made nice bets, okay?
Yeah, and they make good General Tso's chicken.
They do make good General, and this is why they own a lot of them own casinos because they're just good at gambling.
They love to gamble.
So what the Chinese did, a big thing, what they did is when the stock market crashed, 2008, right? Everybody's like, oh, money. Nobody wants to invest, whatever. So China. At the time, the Congo Republic, right? They had a big civil war there. Nobody wanted to invest in Africa.
No, you don't want to go vacation there.
You're not
even now.
No, it's not a nice. No. It's not nice this time of year.
No, it's not this time. It's not this time. Yeah, you want to go someplace else.
So Congo is having a civil war.
Yeah,
and China, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, during a global recession, says we're going to invest $5 billion in the Congo. We're going to get them out of the civil war. We're going to build the infrastructure. We're going to help heal the Congo. And everyone else was like, look at how dumb the Chinese are to fucking go into the Congo.
Right.
But the Chinese were just sitting there with their hats on, kind of in the abacus.
Kind of screwed in.
Yeah. They had the abacus, and they were saying that the sun...
They had the what?
The abacus.
What's that?
How they do math.
Okay, I never heard that.
You never heard of an abacus?
Of course. Oh.
You never heard of an abacus?
What is it? No.
Because it's, like when you have it's like a little box and then they move little balls. I don't know how they do math, but they...
So they were basically doing math like my 3-year-old girl does?
But that's the way to do it.
They move beans across the line?
They move beans across the line and they had the abacus and they were doing all these math equations and they said the sun is pointing to Congo. Yeah. They said Congo is where it's at and nobody could understand why.
Yeah.
And here's why they're screwed and here's what they knew.
Yeah.
Here's what the Chinese abacus told them years before our leaders found out. They said what the world is moving towards is electronic vehicles and electronic energy, EV.
Right.
Okay? So what they said is, what does the Congo have? What does Congo have? Congo has the biggest mine of what?
I was about to say a lot of black people?
It does have a lot of black people.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of black people.
I probably got the most of that.
Yeah, they got the most of that. Yeah, which China, by the way, doesn't. They're like one of the only countries. They were never racist against black people. Most other countries were at some point, I'm saying.
I don't know about that.
Are they racist against blacks?
Yes, they are.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, presently, I think they are. It's pretty bad.
Are they racist against blacks? Okay,
Yeah,
so
unfortunately.
I don't know everything.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to our black brothers and sisters. So what they had was Congo had a cobalt mine.
Yeah.
The biggest cobalt mine
Is that what's in Duracell?
in the world.
Yeah.
Yes. So cobalt is the main thing needed to build electronic batteries. The batteries for Teslas and any other type of electronic car. That's what cobalt does.
Yeah.
So what's happened is China bought in. They own 70% of the Congo's cobalt. Sneaky. And the Congo now, cobalt has went up 400% in just the last 10 years. And it's predicted to go up another 400%. And guess who owns 70% of it? The Chinese.
Yeah, the Chinese.
So that's going to add, their prediction is by 2035, their GDP is going to be bigger than the United States. And make no mistake, that's why I said they are gaining speed.